Hi, welcome. This is Kim Grenon, and this is another episode of Mommycosm Reviews. Tonight is, and I do have the correct date this evening, tonight is episode 12, and it is January 18th, 2011, and we're going to talk about the Total Transformation Program. Before we get underway, I'm going to run the required FTC notice. One thing that is not listed on there is that for this program in particular, I am an affiliate, which means that if anybody were to buy this program, I would get a small commission for that. So here's the FTC. So it's probably a good thing that it's a small group tonight because I keep coughing. So I know it's going to make it onto the video at some point in time. Woohoo! So I'm going to keep clearing my throat. Excuse me. That's lovely. Okay. So the product we're talking about this evening is the Total Transformation Program. It's put out by Legacy Publishing. And what it is a series of 7 lessons that have to do with a parent's program for managing challenging behaviors in children. Gotta tell you, just like last week when we were talking about the S Factor, the couples program, the skills that you learn within this, some of them are similar, but the skills that you learn within this, actually, I've found I use in my everyday life, not just with my children, but in the way that I carry myself and the way that I communicate. Now, the program is a DVD videotape, and it's created by James Lehman, who is a behavioral therapist. He created it, and then Legacy Publishing actually put it to the videos and the audio lessons. Unfortunately, I reviewed this. I can't speak this evening. I reviewed this a couple of years ago on the blog on Mommycosm.com, and I went through the entire series. In audio lesson by audio lesson, I gave a big review for each one. So we're not going to be able to get into the whole entire program and the nitpicking, all the little details and everything that I learned within it, because this is a half-hour show, and that took me 7 weeks. I believe I did one weekly lesson back then. That took me 7 weeks to go everything, but I'm hoping to leave you with some tips and advice and a good idea of what the program is, to see if I'm just reading something in the chat room. Hopefully I'll leave you with enough to see if it's something that's right for your family and worth your money. Yes, I did mention that James Lehman passed away last year. He actually has quite a story. He started off when he was 2 years old. He was abandoned by his parents. He was put into a foster home. He ended up having a really tough upbringing, and he ended up in a lot of trouble. He had a lot of behavioral issues himself. He ended up in jail for about 6 years before he turned 21 even. And after he got out of jail, he actually had to go through an accountability program. And that is where he first developed his desire to help people, because he saw that he was really good at helping people change their behaviors and dealing with people. And honestly, watching his program, I was quite impressed with the way he carries himself, and he has such good common sense approaches to dealing with challenging behavior in kids. And it's not just challenging kids. It's not just kids that have special needs. It's not just kids that are, borderline close to being juvenile delinquents. He does deal with a lot of them. He did in his practice. But I found that even my kids a couple years ago benefited from the techniques, and I benefited from it as well. And you'll learn a little bit about it as we go along. I'm going to play a little video so that he can actually tell you in his words a little bit about it. It's a quick video, but you may have actually seen this on TV. because after I started reviewing the program, the ads started popping up everywhere. So.
Shut up! I hate you!
Is your child's behavior driving you crazy? Are they defiant, disrespectful, or obnoxious with you?
This is your fault!
No one ever teaches you how to be a parent, and kids don't come with instruction manuals, until now. I'm James Lehman, creator of The Total Transformation, the program that helps you fix every behavior problem. Defiance, backtalking, lying, acting out in school, even problems with ADD and ADHD. There's no screaming, no fighting, no frustration.
In 1 month after doing this program, I saw huge changes in my son, and even the teacher noticed. I mean, it was great. I just felt like I've got my life back. I can breathe again because I know how to respond to my kids.
I've used the Total Transformation to solve even the worst behavior problems. I guarantee your child will listen to you again, and you'll get peace and sanity back in your home. Call now and get my bonus CD. Turn your child's attitude around in 1 minute or less, free with your order.
Shut up! I hate you!
Okay, so it actually worked this week. Yay, I'm very glad about that. I'm seeing that in the chat room, that yay, it's the video and the sound both work, so I'm glad, because I think that gives you a good indication of what the program is about and what it does. As I said, it's a program that has 7 different audio lessons. I was a bit overwhelmed when I first opened the program, like, oh wow, where do you start? And it's really good at telling you. So you open it up and it says step 1, watch the Jumpstart DVD. And this really introduces you to the program, to the methods, to the reasoning behind part of what he does. It gives some real examples, and you get to know him a little bit in his style. And I really said before, I really like his style of what he does. Lesson 1 is, why does my child act this way? Any of us with kids, around kids, kids, sometimes you just shake your head and you're like, why is he being such a jerk? I think I said that about Charlie today to my husband. Seriously, why is he being such a jerk? This really helps you take away the emotion of my kid's trying to drive me crazy, to this could be why your child's acting this way, and these are some things that you can do to help alleviate that. I'm seeing because they take after their father. Well, quite possibly. Part of it is learned behavior as well. So lesson 2 is, why won't my child listen to me? Isn't that a great one? Wouldn't you like to know? Lesson 3 is breaking through. And it gives you a series of things that has to do with breaking through to your child. Obviously, thus the name. Lesson 4 gives you transformation tools. Lesson 5 is understanding faulty thinking. Lesson 6 is what to do after your child acts out. Because, quite honestly, whenever your kids are acting out, it's because they don't know how to behave, or they've learned a certain pattern of, this is what gets my results. They're not acting out to push your buttons, per se, they're not personally taking a stab against you most of the time. A lot of it's earned behavior, and there's something to be said about where they are in their communication processes and things like that. So it really walks you through what to do in those circumstances. How to stop it before it starts, and this I found fabulous. And then at the end, there's a Parents Workshop DVD. The way the program works is that you would watch the Jumpstart DVD, get started with it. Then you do lesson 1. You watch lesson 1, and then you go through the workbook that's provided as well. And you go through the workbook and it's kind of like homework. And the homework carries with you with how you actually try things out with new methods to try to work with your children. Now, I said before that I reviewed this on Mommycosm, and I was reading through my reviews earlier today just to kind of prep myself, because it has been a couple of years, actually, since I went through the whole process of reviewing this. And I'm kind of waiting for the right opportunity to do something with this, and that would be now. If you bear with me for a couple minutes, if you can stand hearing my voice for this long, I'm actually going to read to you what I wrote back then, because I really liked it, and it really actually reflects still how I feel about the program. So I'm going to, and you guys are goofing off in the chat room over there, and feel free to do that, but I'm going to read to you as quickly as I can. It's just 3 or 4 paragraphs really quickly so that maybe I'll paraphrase it a little bit, but here we go. I was recently asked to review the Total Transformation Program, a parent's program for managing challenging behaviors in children by James Lehman. This was on Wednesday, August 27th in 2008. It's a long time ago. So, okay, here we go. I must say, the program isn't the prettiest swag I've received through Mommycosm, but is probably the one that will change my life the most. I was first impressed by the introduction DVD. Mr. Lehman stresses that most parents are good parents. They, we, just lack the skills to be effective parents. His approach to train parents on how to teach their kids to behave like responsible little beings interests me. These skills are not something that we are born with, people. It's something that we need to learn. If we never learned them from our parents or they from theirs, it's not our fault. It's not too late to learn. I'd like to provide a subtitle for the program and call it The User's Manual for Kids That They Never Gave You. You people are being mean to me in the chat room over there. I see it. Okay, I'm going to continue reading, people. It's not that much more, I promise. Okay, I hate to compare kids to dogs, but I couldn't help but think of my Australian catalog, Jasper, when listening to the intro. We got Jasper as a puppy and found out I was pregnant shortly thereafter. Yep, we didn't kill the dogs, we went for the kid. Jasper was a rambunctious puppy with way too much energy, as most cattle dogs are by nature. He was nipping at our ankles as he would a cow and thought my arms were chew toys. He was always getting himself into trouble and we were way over our heads. We hired a trainer, to fix the dog so that he would listen to us and behave. The trainer did take him away to boot camp and taught him all sorts of fabulous commands. However, here's the catch. He wouldn't give them back to us until he then trained us on how we should act around the dog. Our behavior was actually contributing to the problem. It was a big aha moment. I think the fact that I'm not walking around with stumps for arms shows the effectiveness of that approach. Jasper is a great dog and a respected and loved member of our family. I'm not saying that we should all send our kids to boot camp, although at times it is tempting. I think that the idea of training the parent to teach the children life skills is a completely reasonable approach to dealing with the challenging times. Teaching kids the basic can be hard enough, walking, talking, eating, etc. But those challenging times, the ones when you're in the middle of the grocery store and your kids are throwing tantrums and you give in to them just to get them to shut up already. I mean, geez, people are looking and might think you're a bad mother. Not that that has ever happened to me. Just saying, well, those are the times when most parents I know feel the most inept. I look forward to learning some new parenting skills. So, I still feel the exact same way as when I wrote that back in August of 2008. This program has changed my life. It has changed the way that I parent, and I've been back into a rut with Charlie, especially the last few weeks, ever since we went to Aruba, really. He's been, dare I say, bratty and throwing terrible two tantrums that he hasn't really done since he was terrible two. And I think going back and doing this, reading about this program has kind of refreshed things for me as well. I've been buying into his little dramas, and I've been helping pour some fuel into them instead of actually taking a step back and taking a deep breath and using better approaches that I had learned in this. So it's so easy to fall back into our old patterns of doing things when we learn something new. So it was really good for me to refresh this. Wanted to share with you that the program was a parent-tested, parent-approved winner. So I'm not the only one that's reviewed it and liked it. Also, the iParenting Media it's an iParenting Media Award winner. There we go. See if I can say that. Now, in addition to the program, they have a fabulous website, and on the website it's all free, and they give some really good advice and ways of implementing some of the strategies. They also have a sister website that is empoweringparents.com, and there's a newsletter that you can sign up for on that site, and they'll send you weekly some parenting strategies as well, and it's fabulous. So, let's chat. I want to know, how many of you have actually heard of the Total Transformation Program? Have you seen the ads on TV the last couple of years? Yeah, thanks. People are goofing off in my chat room over here. Avon Lady's seen the ads. Muller's Girls have seen the ads. Avon Lady says, looks so good. Me, but I don't count. Yeah. I didn't notice them, I'll be honest with you, until they approached me to review the program. You've seen it on TV, Felicia. Great. What do you think about it? Do you think it's something that you could use in your life? What appeals to you about it? What turns you off about it? Do you have any advice on any opinion on it? The ads didn't do the program justice. That's true. Muller's Girl could use it. Great. Now, we talked about this last week too, and like you said, it's a learning tool for parents. It's basically like that manual that nobody could ever give you. It really is. And if you do the work, you'll get the results. I really believe that. It would take more than a minute. I agree with that 100%. They have a little glitchy thing, little marketing thing saying 1 minute transformations. Well, 1 minute might stop and give you something to ponder, but honestly, this took me a while. You have to go through each lesson. You have to live through the lesson. You have to wait for opportunities to come up to actually use it. You have to be in the right frame of mind when those opportunities come up so that you remember your new skills to use it. It takes practice. It takes a while to get through to your kids. That if you've been dealing with some ineffective parenting strategies, if you've fallen into some bad patterns and they're used to their responses to your bad patterns, it takes a little bit for them to adjust as well. Last week we talked about with the couples program that this same publishing company actually put out, the whole concept of but. This is probably where that originated in my mind. We were talking about I love you, but this whole program goes into just how toxic that word but, just one T, no two T's, just how toxic that this word but is. Anything basically you say but and then after totally invalidates the first part of your sentence. And we were talking about that in the context of I love you, but last week. And this really goes into that as well. So if your kids are saying, but my daughter does this all the time. She's not as bad at it as she used to be, but she still does it sometimes. So we really, we need to get better at that. It's something I need to remember to be on that as well. The other thing that I really liked about this, when they talk about ineffective parenting, they talk about consequences. That so many parents either don't set a consequence for a behavior. You have to set the consequence up front. You need to set your expectations with your kids. For instance, if you are in the store and your child is touching things and you've asked them, please don't touch that, and they continue to touch it, I then try to be funny with my kids and I say, look with your eyes, not your hands. And if they still touch, then I'll go on to say, if you touch that again, I'm going to make you sit in the cart like a baby, which totally irks my son. He wouldn't want to do that anymore because he's not a baby. You need to make sure you set a consequence that you can live with so that you can follow through, so that your children know that each and every time you give a consequence, you mean it. If you say things that like, we're going to leave right now if you're not good, and you have no intention of leaving and you really don't want to leave, don't set it as the consequence. Don't give a consequence that you're not going to follow through with, basically. And I catch myself doing that. It's common sense when you hear it and you're like, oh, I don't do that. But you catch yourself. You do it every now and then. And I catch myself even more now. The other ineffective parenting strategy that actually is like fingers down a chalkboard for me now. It's really, really funny. It's the 1, 2, 3 method. So I'm going to count to 3. Mommy's going to count to 3. And what? If you don't set a consequence at the end of 3, if your child does not know what's coming after 3, it's basically saying, look, Mommy can count to 3. Yay! And nothing happens. Or there's some surprised ending that they're not prepared for. I'm going to count to 3, and if you don't stop that behavior, I'm going to X. And then if they don't stop that behavior at 3, X. Do it. Follow through with it. I hear people in the stores, Walmart, all the time. It drives me insane that parents don't say, I'm going to set a consequence after I count to 3. They just go 1, 2, 3, and I giggle to myself because I'm like, yay, mommy can count to 3. Good for you. Now what? It's one of my pet peeves, and it's something that I learned within here as well, and I try to do that better as well. I am going to give you consequences if you keep teasing me. I see that in the chat room. I'm trying to ignore you guys. And please don't cut off hands. I have no idea what you guys are talking about over there. The kids are too scared to find out usually. The point is that I don't want to say that fear doesn't work in parenting because I use it as well. But if you tend to be a screamer by nature, and I've fallen into that pattern sometimes with my kids, I don't like to be a screamer, and I don't like to undermine their confidence when I'm disciplining them. And I found that if I use the methods in Total Transformation Program, that I tend not to do that. I don't like myself when I scream. They do listen, I get a response, but it might not be the response that I want. I'm not teaching them not to do the behavior. I'm teaching them to be afraid of me and that mommy's unstable, which on some levels is okay. But, I want lifelong lessons with my kids. I want them to know that I mean what I say, and I'm firm, and I'm gonna follow through with what I say, and I don't expect them to be perfect all the time because they're kids, they're learning, they don't know how to handle their emotions and their behaviors, and it's my job to teach them. And that's something actually that I talk to my daughter, she gets it a little more than my son a lot. She doesn't like what I say if I say no. Now, I was actually just having this conversation with somebody about restaurant eating, how people bring their kids to the restaurants and they don't want to cause a scene, so they don't get into it with their kids about their food choices and things like that. My kids, I'll flat out say to them, I'm not saying no to you for this, frap that you want with dinner to be mean. Boy, would I love to have a frap every day with my dinner, but it's not healthy. And then we discuss that. And if they go further with it, we say, it's not mommy's job to be nice to you all the time and give you everything you want. It's mommy's job to take care of you and keep you healthy and help you make healthy choices so that when you're an adult, you can make those healthy choices for yourself. So I kind of really take away the I hate you, mom, and you're mean to me, mom. I'm not trying to be mean. It's my job. And I don't always like my job because you don't always make it easy, kid. And I can say that to my daughter now, and I love it. And that's part of the program here. Yum, chocolate frap. I know, and it'd be great to have a chocolate frap with dinner every night. And wouldn't it be great to just go, if you can't be the one to have one? And I actually do that back to my kids sometimes too. If they're fussing about something ridiculous, I actually will do it back. And just be like, I wish my kids wouldn't whine when they didn't get their way. And then they start laughing and they can't help it. So, a little bit of humor and everything can help deflect the whole tantrums as well. So, okay, I'm seeing whining. You guys saw my next slide as I was talking. What specific behaviors would you like to work on with your kids? Whining. Whining, whining, whining. That's a good one. And I'm right back there with Charlie right now, too, and sometimes with Casey. Any other behaviors? This definitely addresses whining. Kids will whine. It's a behavior that they're trying out, but this teaches you how to not let it get on your last nerve and how to yell and scream and holler at them and, how to handle it. Treating the dog nice right now? Oh, no. Crying when they don't get the want. Yeah, no, we're working on that one in this house. We are. So, my next question, not leaving socks all over the place. Tell me about it. What is with that? My son takes his socks off and he leaves them all over the place. He's driving me insane these days with that. Although my daughter learned how to do laundry this weekend. So that was awesome. And I was sick. I had the plague, whatever. Was coughing in bed and everything, and she learned about that. She learned how to do the laundry. She's been switching it and everything. Awesome. And she actually came into the bathroom this morning. I wasn't even out of the shower. She's like, "Can I take your dirty clothes? Can I put them away?" Love it. All right, anyway, let's chat. How much would you pay for a program such as the Total Transformation Program? Assuming that it works, how much do you think you would fork over for something like this? I just want to get a gauge for what people think it costs and what you would put a price to for the valuable. Laundry, one more thing for the kids to fight about. Oh, my poor husband. He put them to bed tonight. They were probably fighting about that. Any conversation about how much this could cost? $300, Avon lady. You're close. $350. $1 million? No. So, but they actually have a deal going on right now, which I really, really like. You'd pay that in therapy bills. Again, I mean, I feel like we're having kind of a groundhog conversation about last week as well, because it's the same price as what last week. Peace in the house is priceless. I agree. If it works, it's worth it. Totally worth it. So they're offering this deal right now. And I'm going to put it on this one so you can see it better. If you order the program, you try it out, go through the program, you pay for the first month. They will break it out again. It's the 3 payments of $109 dollars a month. So you pay that first payment. You send them your feedback after each lesson, and you fill out a survey. You will get your money back, and you get to keep the program. 100% free. Completely free. So if you invest the money for the first payment, try it out. You have to go through the 7 lessons. You're going to learn. You like it. You provide your feedback. It's free. And here's a little commercial about that as well.
I don't have to listen to you. I wish you were dead.
Don't you ever talk to me like that.
Do you need help with your child's behavior? I'm behavioral therapist James Lehman, and I'm willing to give away 1,000 of my best-selling Total Transformation programs for free. All you do is tell us how the program works for you and your family. Did it turn your child's behavior around? Did the screaming and arguing stop in your home? Is he doing better in school? The Total Transformation has helped thousands and thousands of families. I want to see what it can do for you, and I'm willing to let you have it for free. Just order my program, use it with your child, and then send me your feedback. I'll refund the purchase price of the program. You keep the Total Transformation Program forever for free. You don't have to struggle with your child's bad behavior one more day, because now you can try my Total Transformation, and the program is free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call the number on your screen now and find out how to get the Total Transformation Program free.
Okay, isn't that awesome? I've often joked around when it comes to blogging that the right products fall into my lap at the right time. I firmly believe in karma and energy, and everybody that knows me outside of this little box kind of knows that about me. But I received this at the exact time that I needed it. It wasn't something that I reached out to a company for. I wasn't pitching back then. My blog was still kind of a hobby, but so needed this, and it just came at the right time. And I really am excited that they're offering this new free ability to get this for free, because I really think that a lot of people are going to benefit from this as much as I did. So I have no idea what you guys are talking about in there, but yes, Kim likes caramel. Where did that come from? I have no idea. Okay. Excuse me while I clear my voice again. So let's get to the giveaway. Again, this is my review copy. So I didn't write in it. It's, there's no dog ears or anything. I did not take out the flashcards or anything like that in the workbook. And it's all here. It's just, it's been kicking around my house for a little while. So, karma. Yeah, not caramel. Karma. Now I get what you guys are talking about. You guys distract me so much when I'm in this. Okay, so it's the Total Transformation Program. I will ship it to you directly from me. The rest of you that don't win it, if it's something that you feel like you need, please go through my website. I will provide a link. There are links on there now, but tomorrow I will provide a recap of this episode, and I'll also provide a link that you can go through as well. It is my affiliate link. I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't even know if I get anything through this free offer. I haven't actually looked at my contract with that. So this isn't, if I make something, I make something. If I don't, I don't. It's not like I'm trying to make money off from this right now. Disclaimer. I'm seeing, oh. I'm seeing some chat going on in the chat room, and I'll talk to you about that after. So stay on there, and I will address that and find out what's going on. So my disclaimer is that the first person to appear in my chat stream, and I'm talking about the chat stream on Amiibo Mommycosm, because I'm not sure if the chat streams actually sync from on your computer, my computer, whatever, the first person in my stream that I see, to make it fair and fun, who I call out is the winner, will be the winner. So, are you ready for the question? I want to make sure because I see that there's other stuff going on right now. You guys ready? Let's try that again. I feel like a cheerleader. You ready? Okay, good. So the question is, according to the Total Transformation Program, yeah, see, and I can't see, workbook, how many years did James Lehman spend behind bars? And I did actually mention this before in the intro. And I was saying that he spent this many years behind bars, and then he had to go into an accountability program for his actions. And I'm watching the numbers fly by, and we have a winner. So you can stop right there. Freeze! Stop guessing! Okay, give me a second. Don't say anything in the chat room for a second, because I have to scroll all the way up, and I want to make sure that it's the right winner. Okay, I have a 14, 13, 10, 12, 8, 14, 16, 5, 17, 7, and we have a, I'm going to type it in first, give you some intrigue. Oh dear. And now I can't get back to my chat. Isn't that fun? I love technology. So Lucy is the winner. Congratulations, Lucy. The answer was 6 years. So the workbook actually says that it was 6 years. And I didn't put my thing on there, but I have your address, I believe, because you've won a few times. I know I have your address somewhere. So congratulations, Lucy. I hope that you enjoy the program as much as I do. And everybody else that did not win tonight, I encourage you, if this is something that you need, I encourage you, please reach out for that free program. And I really think that it works on kids like Rich too. That's my husband saying that. It does. The methods in here helps you communicate without negative emotions involved, and really helps you learn your style of communication. So it will help in all your communication, I believe, as well. Or your in-laws. And Lucy says that she'll pass it on to others if they want after they use it. So I will mention something on Mommycosm again. If she's done with it and is ready to pass it over to somebody else, then I will mention it on there. And if you still haven't gotten your own copy by then, I will hook you up. So thank you, Lucy. That's very generous. I'm going to go through the end credits, but I have a few things on here that I'm going to come back and talk to you guys. I just want to wrap the show up, and I will come back to get off the actual official show, and I'll chat with you guys for a little bit, because I know that there's some questions in the chat room that we can deal with, and that would be stellar. Now, next week, I am traveling to Blistum. Yay! So I'm actually physically traveling on Tuesday. I'm planning on streaming live from Blistum as long as my flight gets there somewhat on time. So I will communicate that on Twitter if it's not going to happen for some reason, if I'm stuck at an airport, if things are bad. So I am so excited. Yes, I'm going to be at Blistum with the Coupon Goddess. We're rimming together. Isn't that cool? So excited. Yeah, my husband's Blistum equals Aruba. That would be my bliss. That's my bliss. But the Blistum conference in in Nashville next week is where I'm going to be. So I'm going to go through the final credits, wrap things up, and I'll be right back.